Hi, everyone. It's Dawn and Katie.
And we're together. Hi.
Hi, New York. Katie was asked, how do I know anyone's here? And we can see the comments and the lighting's off. But we're
nice
here.
And yellow.
We're nice and yellow. We're in Packers country. All right. So, hey, are you ready to talk true crime, Dan Markel case, as well as anything else going on this week in crime?
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to talk to you about the Delphi.
Okay.
Because that's fascinating.
It is.
The biggest. I think the thing I'm most interested in is the defense filed a motion of 136 pages of stuff. And usually, like, if you're following the Murdoch trial, Poot and Griff, like, they're just doing they have their 1 page or maybe up to 3 pages of evidence of why they're potentially doing their thing, so it's just a quick motion.
Right.
But this one was 135 pages of, like, evidence that they're gathering, because there was a cop that originally started investigating the Delphi case, and then I don't know if he quit or where he went off, but he continued to investigate, and he in the beginning stages, they were talking about, like, this crazy Odin, a god of I don't know what, cult craziness.
Yeah, it's like an offshoot of paganism.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so then they had, because there was, like, potentially a mark in the tree, which if you've seen the marks since then, it's not as crazy as what I thought it would be. It's weird. But anyway.
Okay, Pappy, I have to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
Okay, Pappy, Pappy, Katie's going to tell you, Pappy, what her sign is going to say for tomorrow's Packer game, home opener against the New Orleans Saints.
Yes.
And you're going to tell him what it's going to say, and we'll tell you why. Okay.
My favorite player is David Bakhtiari, and he wears number 69. And so years ago, my husband got me a gift for Mother's Day, and it was a Bakhtiari jersey with a big 69. So I said, I'm going to make a sign that says, I heart 69, and my 4 kids prove it.
I'm blushing. I thought Pappy would appreciate that. We're not quite as quippy and funny as Pappy, but we try.
No. Yeah.
He loves it. And hello, New York Patriot lady. It's nice to see you guys. Okay, so let's go. Tell us more about Delphi.
So he just continued to investigate in the 5 years, and honestly, the original police investigating it went to a professor who deals in Odinite and was, like, asking him questions. So he just continued to investigate, and there are so many weird connections, because believe it or not, this person, this additional suspect, I guess, not additional, but like like they have the original suspect, and then they have one that could be somebody else.
Alternate?
Yes.
Okay.
Alternate suspect.
Okay.
His son dated Libby. Like,
what?
His son dated Libby.
Oh, dated. I thought you said something else.
No, his son dated one of the victims.
Okay.
And if you go on
But aren't they like 14? No,
yes,
how old were they?
Like 13 and 11.
And they were dating already?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he made, like, a weird cryptic Facebook post about, like, I'm so sorry. And then it was like a picture of the bridge.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then if you go on his Facebook.
Was it before they were found or after?
Don't know.
Well, because if it was after.
Maybe. And then if you go on his Facebook page, it is littered with, like, hail to Odin and, like weird stuff. And then he, like, made a TikTok video of him wearing the bridge guy's hat, because it's like, it's not a baseball hat. It's like a weird, like a train station guy hat.
Oh, like a train engineer.
Yeah. Like, it's like got a weird bill and, like.
And so, and you're saying the bridge guy is the guy that was photographed by the victim
on Snapchat.
Before they were killed.
Yeah. And he looks eerily similar. And then I saw a video of him talking, and it sounds like bridge guy that says down the hill.
His voice down the hill.
Yes.
Guys down the hill.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. 130 pages of like potential, I don't know.
An alternate theory.
Yeah.
Alternative theory. Okay, are you guys into Delphi? Are you following the Delphi case or not? And what are your thoughts? And then so we had Murdoch.
Go away, Murdoch.
We don't have to talk about it.
I don't know. I don't know what to think about.
I don't know what
either.
to think. Well, you know how I felt.
Yeah.
I did not feel like the prosecution had a solid case.
Yeah.
I felt like when they came back so quickly with that verdict that showed me that they didn't give it any real thought.
Yeah.
That's not saying I think Murdoch didn't do it. I just didn't feel like the prosecution did what I would have expected.
I think the biggest thing for him,
Hey, Patricia,
was that he was. I mean, I guess you still say you don't know time of death, but like, if you're going to go off of them from the time that they quit using, he was there.
Right.
So,
right.
I don't know, but yeah, they're trying to appeal. But you know the things that they're saying.
Well, they're trying to appeal because the clerk of courts is said to have tampered with the jury, basically.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that's strong wording, and so, but the clerk of court is to speak with the jury only as needed and without giving even a hint of indiscretion. Not that it's unlawful, but it's just the proper thing to do.
Right.
But that's clearly not what she did. It was unprofessional.
Well, okay, so
if true, which
right, because the exact quotes that they put in their motion that they say that she said to the jury are quotes that Creighton made in his closing statements. Word for word closing statements.
But it's still, she's reiterating it.
But did she say that? Or are they saying that she said that?
Well, one of the attorneys, there's a cool attorney I love to follow. Her YouTube name is Harvard Lawyer Lee. Do you know who she is? She's a Harvard lawyer, of course. She was one of the top lawyers, and she's down in the South, but not that state. And she read the book, and she's been going through impropriety, not indiscretion, excuse me, without even an appearance of impropriety. And she read excerpts from the book and has read what the jurors say that she did and said. And she said, she really crossed the line.
Okay.
In her opinion, based on what she even wrote in the book.
Okay.
Now, it's not about the book, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's about what the jurors say, because if she's wrote the book after the trial, it's kind of like, well, but if she wrote the book after the trial and said, I said this before the trial,
right,
that's her own admission. So if you guys have any thought about the Murdoch catastrophe, we all know he's going to be life in prison no matter what, but basically his goal is to stay out of state prison and get into federal prison. So, and I think that's probably likely to happen anyway.
Yeah.
So let's
sorry, back to Murdoch. Did you see that Corey Fleming? He pled guilty, and now he's appealing it because of the sentence that Judge Newman put down on him, because he wasn't expecting that large of a sentence.
Right.
Now he's appealing, even pleading guilty.
Right.
Which is crazy.
I didn't know he was pleading guilty, but I'm not surprised he's appealing, because that would be standard after sentencing. You're going to appeal as many times as you can. But he was definitely not expecting that sentence.
No.
And that's also going to serve to bolster the Murdoch attorney's case, as far as or their argument that Judge Newman needs to be recused from the retrial if they're granted a retrial.
That would probably be fair.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And certainly the clerk of court,
need any one of those.
She has her job, but if they fire her, I guess they're admitting that she did.
Yeah.
So that's all what a mess. If it couldn't be any messier. And meanwhile, I don't know, just Lori Vallow, the way that it's working as far as her being extradited to Arizona. So Arizona requested it. The Arizona governor had to sign off on it, send it to Idaho. Everything's done on the Idaho side now.
Okay.
So we're just waiting for her to be shipped off. All the ducks are in a row for that.
Sorry, I saw Charlie. He did have a status hearing this last week, didn't he?
Charlie
Adelson?
Yes.
Was there anything that came of it?
I've been traveling. No, I will tell you. I'm going to
ask you. I forgot about that until just now.
I know. Well, I watched Judy and Deep Dive True Crime did a mentor lawyer, of course, as we know, James, did a couple of videos, and I watched them last night. Finally, or one last night, one the night, something like that.
Yeah.
And he was on with Judy last night too. So they went over some of the exhibits. And I don't know if the witness list was out yet, but it might have come out today, but I haven't had a chance to check. The status hearing, what day was that?
I don't even know what date
was it today. Monday? Yeah. I don't think there was anything except for what came of that. It was the exhibit list. Everybody was, all the documentation from both sides that the judge asked for were there on time. And the trial is going to proceed on time. Yeah.
Perfect.
So by the time I get home, it'll only be a couple more weeks. So
yay.
So hey everyone, how you doing? Are you ready to talk about
Wendy?
That chick on the screen? So now when Katie wants me to pause, she just has to
just tap
my shoulder. Okay, not for Charlie. You are what you eat. Charlie is the lobster. What's going on here? What did we miss? Okay, let me go up to the top of the comments to make sure we're here. See this? I don't have a mouse, you guys. I don't have a mouse. I don't have a mouse. Hand pinky waving. Is it raining in New York? New York Patriot lady or what? No, don't say that in front of Pappy. Can we please focus on the weather? Okay. And he said, if I were a proper attorney, I would always send my pages and ending in 69. It just sounds better. Oh gosh. Thank you. I am so happy you found us too, Patricia. Okay, let's get to it. Poor Papa, yeah. Well, nobody deserves that. But has the Charlie Adelson's witness list been released? I am guessing, what day is it? No, it's Saturday. So probably Monday, unless they do it over the weekend. But as of last night, it wasn't. But don't count on me for up-to-date information because I am really not in touch at all this week. I've got a lot going on here with my mom and stuff. So, and we're pinky waving back. I love it. And and Pappy said the exhibit list or the witness list has a fresh Maine lobster on it. Yeah. All right. Great. And you watched, Patriot Lady says, watched Wendy's interview with Isom soon as he is. Okay, I need a little clarification on that one. All right, and then let's get started, okay? Oh, was taking the phone, she immediately, began deflecting. Yep, absolutely, 100%. Well, now we're on the 2022 testimony. This is the second of 3 of these, and they're about 20. We're going to get through 25 minutes of testimony. It might take us an hour to get through 25 minutes, but we're going to do it. So let's roll. And I'm sorry, it's a little soft because it's soft. I'm making it as loud as I can, but the recording is just, the quality is not very good. It's very soft. So here we go. This is where we left off last week.
Order saying she couldn't have contact with the kids unless there was another adult present, correct? I see that here. I don't think I took it seriously at the time, so it didn't.
This just makes me mad all over again every time I hear it. This is where she's trying to minimize about they didn't take it
Donna.
seriously about Dan telling the court that he was being disparaged and he didn't want Donna to have unsupervised visits. We didn't take it seriously. Okay. I guess that's them not taking it seriously, just murder. I wonder what they would do if they took something seriously.
You never thought of it like
bomb
that.
the whole country?
Oh my gosh, you just got us canceled. You can't say that.
Oh,
Didn't really lodge in my memory.
Right, because the trial was supposed to or the next court hearing was within a week of.
Yep.
To discuss this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This motion that
After they had tried to bribe
this
him.
little motion that they didn't take seriously.
After they had tried to bribe him with
After
$1 million.
they offered him $1 million. Yeah.
Okay. But that's not serious.
No,
Okay. Just $1 million isn't serious.
mm-mm.
Okay.
They didn't take it seriously. They just offered $1 million. Oh, and somebody brought up at a point, and I never realized this. I think, I can't remember. It was somebody in the comments last week, and she was saying the $1 million was supposed to be split 3 ways between Wendy, Charlie, and her parents. But I think she was saying that Wendy was at one point saying that it was actually Donna, Harvey, and Charlie.
Good Lord.
Now, I don't know if that's true, but the comment was interesting, and it wouldn't surprise me at all. But it would be hard for her to argue that because she's basically said under oath that her parents like share an email account. They do everything together. They're like
so
the
they probably
same
share
person.
banking.
Everything, right? So, okay.
Was it ever ruled on? I don't know.
See, that bugs me too. I don't know.
That's acting. I don't know.
Because she
of course knows.
She's a freaking lawyer. Of course
Right.
she knows if it's been ruled on.
Right. But again, that's just for the jury who doesn't know what we know.
If it were, it should be here, right? Yes, ma'am.
Oh, isn't that cute? She's so cute when she lies.
It was scheduled to be ruled on in August of 2014.
Look at those big eyes.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know when it was scheduled for. I do know that nobody took it very seriously.
Okay.
Okay, so your mom wasn't worried about that motion.
Oh no.
All the extra. Like you said.
All the extra.
Let's talk a little bit about your brother. You can just sort of close that binder and leave it in front of you if that's okay.
She probably has that whole binder on her nightstand.
How old is your brother, Charlie Adelson? He is 45. Is he your older or younger brother? I have 2 older brothers, so he is one of the 2 older brothers. Are you closer to one more than the other? Yes. Which one are you closer to? Charlie. And has that always been the case, or just since this case? No, it's not since this case. I think when we were kids, I was probably closest to my oldest brother.
So that kind of makes sense. You're going to the right for emotional things. She's talking about kids, but you notice that's also where she was going for remembering facts. That's why it's very odd.
Mm.
That's why it doesn't seem authentic. One of them's not real because you don't go to the same spot for those different things.
Let's pay attention to what's up there. That's what I think.
To be an adult myself around my 20s, I was probably closer to my middle brother. Around the time of 2013 and 2014, were you closer to Charlie at that time? I would say so. All right, and
I would too.
are you aware of?
Okay.
Sorry, we're just going to get into the oldest brother real quick because when she says, I would say so, isn't that about the time that the oldest brother chose to have nothing to do with any of them? Like, at what point did he cut them off?
I thought somebody was at the door. Sorry. What is it? I'm watching too many true crime shows. What was your question?
Like, when did that older brother cut them off? Because I can't think of his name, but it's because he wanted to marry somebody. He fell in love. Donna and Harvey said, no, she's not good enough for you. So he found somebody else, and they got divorced because that was definitely not good enough. And then he went back to girl 1, and that's when he cut off the family.
Right. Although they did attend the wedding.
Okay.
I think there was more than one time they kind of cut off the family. But they didn't want him to marry her because she was Indian. I don't believe she was Jewish. I mean, that was our argument. But then they went on to show how of little importance Judaism is to them.
Yeah.
By suggesting that the kids get turned Christian just to piss off
Forgot
Dan,
about that.
and to not eat kosher at the wedding, and
Right.
all of it. So why was it so important that their son marry a Jewish woman when they really didn't
They don't
treasure Jewish tradition or culture or the religion?
But she clearly knows at what point he chose to cut them off. Like she knows.
She knows.
So that,
yeah, all that acting.
Yes.
It's like seared in their brains.
yes.
Yeah, it's just like a murderer knows when they murdered somebody, and then they say, "Oh, I don't remember that. I was drunk."
What was that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, her facial expressions do not speak the truth. And Pappy says, "I can't. If I would be honest about the psychology about Wendy, it would just be bad."
Yeah.
Okay. And this is regarding the $1 million. 1/3 Donna Harvey, 1/3 Wendy, and Charlie 1/3 in the stand. Wendy said it would be split among Donna Harvey and Charlie. Oh, I don't remember that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, because somebody commented about it last week, and I was like, went right over my head.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Right. All right. Good point, Pappy. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And at any time between your brother Charlie and any
Yes.
gang members. No. Did your brother use
Yeah.
drugs?
He did, yeah.
What type of drugs did
I mean, that was not easy for her to answer.
No, she's
Did
almost ashamed of that.
She was like, "Are you really asking me that?" And then she realized, I'm sure Georgia was just deadpan staring at her. She's like, "Yeah,
Because
he
said,
did.
"Do you do drugs?" Is that what?
Did your brothers do drugs?"
Okay.
First, she asked how old he was, and did he do drugs? So here we go. Katie's getting another buff.
No, I just want the noise gone.
Oh.
Hear better.
did he use?
Marijuana.
Okay, what else?
Marijuana.
I don't know of anything else.
Oh,
Okay.
pot.
And do
Weed.
you know where he got the drugs from that he used?
I don't.
Was he a recreational marijuana user or was he a drug dealer?
I would say he was a recreational marijuana user.
Was this something he did every day or just occasionally?
I don't know how often. I don't know if it was every day, but I do know the pain of the last few years has led him to do some self-medicating.
Okay, but I'm really speaking of the time frame. I should have clarified 2013 to 2014.
I don't know if he was using any drugs during that time.
This part's funny.
But you became aware of it subsequent to the incidents that we're here about today?
That's right.
Were you aware that your brother, I think you testified he sometimes worked at the Adelson Institute. What did you mean by that? Where else does he work?
So he is a periodontist, and he has kind of a traveling practice of sorts. So he would work in various doctors' offices throughout Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach counties. And so sometimes he would work from my dad's practice, but sometimes he would work from different offices. I don't know how often he worked at which one. I just know he worked at various offices.
What did I miss about the drug use?
All right. So I asked you, I'm sorry to change topics on you so much, but previously we were talking about your two brothers. Is your other brother, not Charlie, but your other brother, is he located here in Florida?
He is not.
All right, and back in 2014, was he living in another state?
He lived in Gainesville for a while. I'm trying to remember in 2014 if he was in Gainesville. I don't think so. I think he was in another state.
All right, so been in another state throughout this, the incidents we're here about.
I believe so, yes.
All right, now back to what we were talking about with your brother Charlie's practice. So he travels around to different dentist offices and performs a specific service, like on a contract basis.
Okay, I think it might have been just earlier, but Katie was asking me, so Wendy was implying that her brother Charlie wasn't using marijuana recreationally until all of this until the 2016, when they started saying that when Luis Rivera said that they murdered Dan Markel because his ex-wife wanted the children. Flat out is what he said. And so I can't remember if it was here or later, but that she implies that, Charlie's drug use was a result of the family being implicated in the conspiracy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then back to, okay, so it was in the email. Are you saying it was in the email that, I thought it was in the email that Donna suggested Wendy, Charlie, and the parents go in thirds on the $1 million. And then Patricia was asking which trial Wendy stated that it was Donna, Harvey, Charlie, the thirds, instead of leaving herself out of it. I don't remember. It must have been the 2019 because I don't remember hearing it here, but it might come up now. In any case, maybe you guys can help us clear that one up because my brain is a little overwhelmed right now. Just ask Katie. I've got a lot going on right now. I'm trying, right? I'm trying.
You're doing great.
All right. And are you aware that he does that type of work or offers a discount for that type of work if his customer is paying cash?
I'm not aware of that.
Are you aware of your brother carrying large amounts of cash?
He did sometimes carry more cash than I would, but not like big sums of cash. No.
Did you observe the cash that he carried to be stapled together in packs?
No, I never saw staples.
Has your brother ever been married?
That
No.
does not seem like
How would
the
you
truth.
describe the kind of lifestyle?
All the extra. No, I never saw staples. Again, rewording to make it like a blank. I never saw staples. I've never seen a staple in my life. What are you talking about? Right?
But she
didn't say, no, I never saw staple cash.
Right. She reworded it to make it true for her.
Right. Yep. Conniving.
So maybe not in the cash she carries, there might not be staples.
Right.
But the cash in the safe, there's staples.
Right. And I think she did make a mistake by saying, she could have probably said, I've never seen the cash he carried. But she could have just said no. Right.
That's not Wendy, though.
Right.
We don't do that.
Right. And so she said never. So there she's boxing herself in a little bit.
There was enjoying back around the time of these incidents, 2013, 2014.
I straight up.
He lived a bachelor lifestyle, very different than mine.
Please.
Enjoy nice restaurants.
I'm just a mom.
Friends.
Not a lot of responsibilities.
Not a lot of responsibility.
A lot of girlfriends.
You say not a lot of?
A lot of different girlfriends.
Always a different girl. Yeah.
Not a good girl. Got it.
Who is Jerome Obed?
He is a person who used to live with my brother.
Do you know the time frame that he lived with your brother?
I remember I introduced him to his current wife, and that was maybe 2011. So maybe during the period, I don't know how much. I can tell you he was living with them that year, but I don't know for how long before or how long after they lived together. They were friends, though.
Oh, so okay, so you can't tell us whether he was living with your brother in the 2013, 2014 timeframe that we're here about.
I don't remember.
And is Mr. Obed also a
Slowly.
doctor or a dentist?
He is a dermatologist.
Dermatology, thank you. All right, and your brother, we were talking about his lifestyle and the girlfriends. Does he also drive fancy cars?
I've never heard that name before.
Jerome Obed?
Yeah. Why is that being brought up?
Kate Magbanua worked for Obed.
Okay.
June Amchinda, who will be a witness, was dating Jerome Obed. He was Charlie's roommate during the time that all of this happened, so he was questioned by the police. And he ended up, so Jerome's girlfriend June ended up with Charlie. They hit it off. It was like, ugh, really, ugh, like just a
Yeah,
lot.
but Wendy introduced him to his current wife, so it's all fine.
Right. No, it was much sleazier than that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was so.
So you see all those hand movements in that?
And the slope links. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, and straight up looking. All of a sudden, she's looking for information about Charlie up top. So it's just very odd,
Okay.
very extra.
Yes. Including a Ferrari?
Yes.
All right. And were you aware of one of his girlfriends by the name of Katherine Magbanua?
Yes.
Did you ever have the opportunity to meet that particular girlfriend?
Yes. We met maybe 2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 times?
Yes.
Do you recall what the occasions?
I think she might have learned a lesson because those are quick yeses.
Right.
There was nothing. I mean, it was yes, yes, but then it was also the extra of yes. I've met her two or three times.
Yeah, she had to add that in.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There was one time we had dinner when I was in town.
Now, when she said that, one time we had dinner, all the swallow and all the like extra saliva in her face. It seems like something happened at that dinner.
Yeah, because she was also looking, like if we're looking at Wendy right now, when she was talking about the dinner, it went this way, and now she's back to this way.
Yeah. She's actually back to this way.
Yeah. But the dinner
was over here. Or
so,
up.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Which is what I did every time I'd come to town and have dinner with my brother and a different girl.
All the extra. All the extra. Now she's over on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A different girl. I'd come to town and have dinner with my brother and a different girl each time. So Katie's nobody special, I feel, is like.
I know. And Katie's sitting right there. It's kind of rude.
Yeah.
Hey, society babe. Nice to see you. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot.
And then one time I went to the beach for an hour or so, and she and a friend of hers joined us.
So she can't say we went to the beach. It's got to be just for an hour or so.
Who goes to the beach for an hour?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, I do because I live at it, so I don't have to stay.
And was there a third time?
I don't actually remember a third time.
All right. So was there anything special about this girlfriend in terms of her relationship with your brother? Did they seem closer or more serious?
So she said 2 or 3 times, and then when Georgia asked her about the third time, she said she doesn't remember the third time.
Mm-hmm. What do you think happened that third time, Don?
I think it was more than 2 or 3 times.
Right.
It was probably more times than she could actually remember.
It didn't seem serious.
Were you off-put by Ms. Magbanua for any reason? Did she seem like different from the ordinary trail of women that came through his life?
She seemed perfectly nice.
Did you bond with her in a special way? Did you have a different type of relationship with her?
She seemed perfectly nice. She closes her eyes and eye blocks and makes a little disgust, like smirk on the side of her face. Like, no, she didn't seem perfectly nice, but that's just Charlie, right? That was more about Charlie, I think, than
her than you had with any of his other girlfriends.
No, I mean, if anything, I'd say I'd been closer to other girlfriends. I only met her twice.
All right. What about her ex?
And then
Fredo
she
Garcia. Were you
did you see that I only met her twice, and then she nervously looks
Uh-huh.
over to her table.
I did see that.
Mm-hmm. That was wild. That was very interesting.
aware of him at all before this case?
No.
So you didn't even know she had an ex?
I knew she had an ex because my brother once mentioned that he was dating a girl and she had an ex that seemed a little scary. And I said, maybe you should stay away from that.
Yeah. And so the ex, did you have
too?
So Charlie had to tell Wendy to stay away from.
No, Wendy told Charlie to stay away from that after Charlie mentioned Katie had a scary ex.
Oh, she told Charlie?
Mm-hmm. That's
Really?
what she just said.
I got to replay it, you guys.
Surprising to you to learn that they had a relationship.
Very.
What about your ex-husband, Dan Markel? Did you ever know him to be involved with any type of
Yeah, I don't think you have.
drug activity or
Sorry, guys.
all before this case?
No.
So you didn't even know she had an ex?
I knew she had an ex because my brother once mentioned that he was dating a girl and she had an ex that seemed a little scary.
All
And
right.
I said, maybe you should
Oh,
stay away
I
from
see. Okay.
Yeah, and so the ex, did you have specific knowledge about why he was a little scary?
No.
And did Katherine Magbanua ever tell you anything that was specifically scary about him?
That whole
With the
lip,
yeah, that was
that means I don't believe it. If okay, we're having a conversation, Katie. I'm dating a guy and he's got a girlfriend who's a little bit scary. I mean, something really vague like that. Are you going to then say you should stay away from him?
I would probably ask you more questions.
Right.
A lot more questions.
Right. That doesn't make sense.
Mm-mm.
Thank you.
No.
Hi, Luke Timber. Yes, lots of Botox there for sure. Not great looking. It's like real.
Were you aware of your brother having any communications with the scary ex-husband?
No, only that
This
my
can't
brother
be
seemed
ex-
a little scared of him, but I don't know.
I love how Georgia does that shade so seamlessly.
Yeah.
The scary ex-husband, you know, because she's using her silly words back at her. But the jury would hear that, like, what does that even mean?
Yeah. How long did Katie and Charlie date? Do you know?
Magbanua and Adelson. Well, everyone's lying about it. So I think it was longer than what they want conveyed.
Okay.
But everyone's lying, so it's hard to say. But they met.
Wouldn't Katie tell her side to lie?
Katie said when they met, how it happened. And she was Dr. Obed's. Was Katie working for Obed? Or was that June? Yeah, Katie was working for Obed and June was dating Obed. And Charlie met her at the office and then called. And I think what he did was he told one of her friends, Katie's friend, Magbanua's friends. I don't want to say Katie because you're Katie.
That's fine.
I think the story goes that he said he'd give them free dental work or something.
Oh, gross.
To get his number, to get her number. Right.
But then she went to work for him?
No.
Oh. Katie worked at the Adelson Institute.
Sorry, you guys. The Adelson Institute. Kate, they were paying her.
Oh, but she never worked in the office.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know
They're contending that she worked for the office, right?
Okay.
After Dan Markel's murder.
Okay.
But there's no evidence that she actually went in.
Okay.
You guys, I just laugh at the whole Adelson Institute thing. It's like, who calls a dentist office an institute?
It sounds like Scientology.
It's crazy. Oh, God, yes.
Know that.
Yeah.
They talked or didn't talk.
So it would be surprising to you to learn that they had a relationship.
Very.
What about your ex-husband, Dan Markel? Did you ever know him to be involved with any type of drug activity or gangsters, anything like that?
No, Danny consulted on criminal law cases. So I do remember there being a case involving Orthodox rabbis that were engaging in some very violent activity. And that had me concerned. But other than that, no.
Okay. Not in his personal life?
No.
Was your brother Charlie, or is your brother Charlie, protective of you?
He is, yeah.
Did you discuss your marital problems with him back during the time of 2013, 2014?
I did.
Is it fair to say that in the time frame leading up to the murder of your ex-husband that your brother did not like your ex?
I think it's fair to say. I mean, I also think it's fair to say he wasn't particularly concerned with it. He was leading his own life and not really focused on mine.
So here we go. This is what her, I'm going to minimize things, shtick looks like, right? We've seen
Just
it before.
smile it off.
Yeah. She wasn't really concerned.
He has his own life.
Yeah, no, he didn't really.
He's
Yeah.
really focused on yours.
Go karts.
Was focused on mine.
And your mom was in the ear of your brother quite a bit, same as she was with you, right?
I don't know about how much she was in his ear or not.
Eyebrows are on my.
Did your brother ever mention hiring a hitman to kill your ex-husband?
He never mentioned hiring a hitman. He told one bad off-color joke where he said he had bought me a TV.
He told one,
Just one.
wherein she's in the past said he's told that joke all the time.
Right.
Okay, so which is it?
TV when I got divorced and said it was a present and made a very bad joke and bad taste that it was cheaper than hiring a hitman.
And was
But no,
that,
he-
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, that's okay.
What else were you gonna say?
I think that was it.
All right, was that a joke that your brother made one time or more than one time?
He has a tendency to repeat himself, so everything he says, he says.
Do you know how many times he said it?
I have no idea, but definitely twice at least.
And it was your understanding that he had not made any actual efforts to hire the hitman,
Yes.
but you did get,
I have no idea, but definitely twice at least.
But he tends to repeat himself a lot.
And then she went from saying he said one off-color joke and another time saying he said that, repeated that joke all the time. But just listen to
At
that.
least twice.
Right. At least twice. I mean, it's just like all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What is it?
a TV as a divorce present.
I did get a TV.
As a divorce present.
Again.
As a divorce present.
Is she going to say something?
Was there a dinner,
No, just George's.
time when you went out
Pause.
to dinner with your brother after the murder where you vomited at the table? That happened? It's just yes or no.
What would you like to know the context? It did happen.
Okay,
I
and
can't-
who was present at that dinner?
Just my brother and me.
Okay, and that was kind of your first time out after this murder had occurred, right?
After it happened, I couldn't eat for several weeks, and then I was completely terrified to leave my house. So this was the first time I tried to leave the house and eat food.
That would probably happen. Wouldn't you think that it'd be hard to eat if you like had somebody murdered and wondered if you were going to get arrested?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could understand that.
And that is how it ended up. I threw up.
At the dinner table, in a restaurant.
Yes, it was very embarrassing.
How long after the murder was that incident?
Probably about a month or so.
Was the dinner intended to be a celebration of the fact that your husband was murdered?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
All the extra. All the extra.
Oh, she looked like she was going to cry.
Absolutely not.
Oh, that's painful. Okay.
Celebration.
I highly doubt that.
Could that have been one of his jokes that was in bad taste?
He may have been celebrating the fact that I was willing to leave the house.
Were
Ooh.
you involved?
That looked angry.
There's a lot of anger
Oh,
happening
that's
right
an
here.
angry lady there.
There's a lot of anger happening right here.
Involved in the plot to kill your
It's
husband?
like, I know that you're going to ask me these
Did you have
questions.
knowledge of the plot to
yeah.
kill your husband?
No.
Nostrils
But you
flared.
suspected that your family was involved.
No, I did not suspect that my family was involved.
Did you mention in your
The extra again.
Not only that, but now she's like, no, I did not expect.
Why don't you just say no?
Mm-hmm. She can't.
interview with law enforcement that you suspected that your family could be behind this?
I think I speculated about lots of things during the 6 hours I spent with law enforcement without an attorney present trying to help them solve this murder. Yes, I said
Was. You're a fucking attorney, bitch. Sorry. You know when to bring in an attorney into an into
Look at that.
that interrogation to
Mhm.
start with. Second, as a lawyer, you know you could have walked out at any second. And third, if you're going to be so helpful for 6 hours, what about after? Not once would she talk to them since.
Right.
Just that one time to get her story out. I'm done.
Mhm.
So all this is just lies. Has the jury seen that interrogation yet in this case before she comes on?
I do not believe any of her interrogation was used as evidence in either trial. Because the trials
guess-
weren't on against her, but if she were,
Oh God.
if she were,
Because can you imagine if the jury saw that and then listened to this and been like,
right,
girl, you're so full of crap, it's not even funny.
But Georgia, no, I think she brings up the the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've made that clear. It's not interrogation, but
No.
yep. Triggered. Yeah.
Yes.
She is so
Yes.
triggered.
She's so mad.
It was 5 hours and she added an hour. That is correct. And when I signed away all my rights,
And I handed them my phone because I'm just so helpful.
right. And we know better, right? We know better. Yes. All right.
Awful.
She's awful.
Interesting.
Well,
One of the things you said was that
Allegedly.
your family very much disliked him and that you thought it was possible that someone had done this on your behalf, unbeknownst to you.
I did say I thought someone might have done this on my behalf. Yes.
And who did your
You
brother
sure did.
know that had
You sure did, because the world revolves around Wendy. Right?
Yes.
She did say that. Like everybody that she offered up, it was because they wanted to help her, whether it was her brother, her
Lacoste?
one of her friends, Jeffrey, anyone. It was all still went back to her.
Yeah.
So this is backfiring on her.
Yeah.
She's just so special.
connections that could get something like that done.
I have no idea.
Do you know Katherine Magbanua?
I have met Katherine Magbanua.
She was your brother Charlie's girlfriend at the time of this murder, wasn't she?
I believe
Objection
so.
asked and
There
answered.
may have been other girlfriends
Overruled.
here at the time.
Wait a second. Okay, now answer the question.
Specifically at the time of the murder, Katherine Magbanua was your brother's girlfriend at that time, correct?
I think so.
Okay. And can you identify her? You mentioned you've been to the beach with her on one occasion and dinner on another occasion. Do you see her in the courtroom?
I do.
Could you please point her out and describe what she's wearing?
She is sitting over here. She has on a striped blouse and a blazer.
Let the record reflect the witness has identified the defendant. You mentioned that your brother Charlie had a lot of girlfriends. Did you meet all of his girlfriends?
I highly doubt I met all of them, but I met a lot of them.
All right. And specifically in reference to this defendant, did you talk to her on the phone ever separate from your brother?
I loved the nerves there. It was that that
was the first time that I'd
and then
seen
she
her.
clunks the speaker, the microphone.
That was the first time I've seen that come out in her.
That'll be a fun short.
I
have no memory of ever doing that. I don't think so.
Okay, so it wasn't like you had become girlfriends or had an independent relationship with her.
Oh,
You only saw her.
oh, closing those eyes. No, we always close our eyes when we lie because we can't look people in the eye when we lie.
Secondary to visiting your brother twice on 2
Twice.
occasions.
It's going to be
I'll
fun.
show you State's Exhibit 35.
Like, yay, back to the binder.
I like binders.
I like my 800-page divorce binder. She just looks mad right now.
I know the microphone video. You should definitely do that, and I have some ideas too. Society pages.
35.
Can we back up anything in the cloud? Does it say WhatsApp conversation?
I don't think so. I think WhatsApp is separate.
We don't think WhatsApp gets saved to iCloud. I think you would have to intentionally do that, but it's set not to.
I think they got the WhatsApp phone, didn't they? Right before she out.
That was the second time we got together. It looks like the three of us at the beach. So it's me, Katie, and one of her friends.
Do you remember the friend's name?
I do not.
If I said it, would you be able to say yes or no?
I wouldn't.
Okay. And do you know when the photo was taken?
I mean,
I
wouldn't you just maybe say, oh, I don't know, maybe.
I feel like the majority of people I know, if you told me their name, not know.
Oh,
if I,
yeah,
like,
that was
met-
who it was.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, I remember now.
Look at this cute picture that I
But
took.
no, I
remember
wouldn't.
because it doesn't revolve
That's
around
telling.
her.
No, that's just like she's denying thou dost protest too much, my dear. Yeah, she's denying everything and she's going a little overboard, I think.
Wow.
don't. My best guess is 2013 or 2014.
Okay. One moment, please, Ronnie.
Okay.
She's looking nervous.
Mhm. She's not as
Do you recall going to Miami for Father's Day in June, right before
like
Dan Markel was murdered?
I don't have a strong memory of it, but it sounds like something I might have done to visit my dad.
Okay. Did you previously testify in reference to this same photograph or a similar photograph?
yes, she did.
Yes, I have.
Okay. And did you testify at that time?
Objection, Your Honor, improper impeachment.
Um,
We'll return to it, Judge.
All right,
Just give me a
that's
minute.
sustained.
All right. And did you have any contact with this defendant since the murder in any kind of way, any communication?
No.
Did you have any contact with her in any way on the day of the murder?
No.
Blink, blink, blink,
Blink,
blink,
blink,
blink,
blink,
blink, blink, blink.
Lots of blinks there. Like
So
still
that would be
blinking.
yes. That would be yes.
Do you
Still
remember what
blinking.
girlfriends came after Katherine Magbanua as far as your brother's girlfriends?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
In order,
Just do your best.
These
I
Charles
do. I mean, I
really being such a
I
player.
feel
All these
nervous
girlfriends
about saying their names
are
out
so.
loud.
I'm over it, and I've only been listening to it for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like the jury has to be like, "Come on, this is not funny anymore."
It's not funny. And have you seen his picture? And look at her face right there.
Oh, Wendy.
She does look angry. She has been angry like for a solid 10 minutes,
Yeah.
10 minutes, or at least 5 on the stand here. Ooh, look at that face.
Why don't we just use first names then?
I remember Whitney.
Okay.
You know why she remembers that.
After Whitney,
Whitney, And was Whitney a serious girlfriend?
I think Whitney was a fairly serious girlfriend.
All right. And what about after her?
I'm blanking after Whitney.
Do you remember June?
Yes, yes, June was after Whitney.
Okay. And can you give me the basic time frame for Whitney?
I just really remember how old my boys were, but I don't know how long she was in his life for. So maybe like 2014 to 2015 or 16, and then June after that, and I think on and off for a couple of years. And then he was together with the mother of his son, and that was probably 2017, 2018.
Okay. I'm going to approach, would it refresh your recollection to look at some text messages so you could give me exact dates of when these women were in your brother's life?
Sure.
Patricia asks, where did I hear that when June heard Wendy had been a clerk, she thought like retail, she had clerked for a judge. It may have been June that said that, and she may have said it. Oh gosh. I don't think it was when the police recorded a conversation with her. It must have been on the stand.
What's special about Whitney?
I got it. I got Whitney.
thinking June.
I was thinking Brienne.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The baby.
Mm-hmm. That's hilarious. Yes, and so the advocate in the room during the police interview made a note when Wendy, somebody previously said, "Whoops." lost that. Yeah, June cares about retail, basically. Oops, sorry, you guys. I'm having a hard time scrolling. I don't have a mouse with me, so that the advocate was writing some notes, and someone else who was commenting. So I can't go down now. Shoot. There it is.
I think it was New York Patriot lady that was talking about that right there.
Yeah,
victim
yeah. When the
advocate looking
kids were making comments about God, and one of the boys said God was dead, Wendy burst into laughter. Yeah, that was during the police interview, and it was so distasteful. I mean, and it was so much extra. Why would you say that? That just shows that she had the blah. She had nervous energy,
yeah.
and she was just talking way too much. She did pretty well, but did you just see the tongue jet? The like what? Yeah.
No, I wasn't
Well,
watching that.
it happens really fast, but it means you said something. You got to get it out of your mouth. Yeah. And then a little swallow, like, yeah, yuck, whatever that was. It was icky in my mouth. We agree. It was very icky. Your mouth is icky. It's so uncomfortable.
Like you're,
I love it.
yeah,
Love it. Patsy.
very long neck.
Right.
All right. So
Yeah,
let's take a look at the first page. Specifically referencing these messages that are in the letter.
So help me understand though, this is a message between,
Just take a minute and sort of take your time and look
oh,
at it.
I'm using this to figure out who he was dating when.
Yes.
Okay.
And you're just gonna take a look at it and tell me if it refreshes your recollection. If you can't figure out what it is or it doesn't refresh, then
It was a spiritual battle for sure.
Great, so it looks like he was with Whitney in 2014, 2015.
okay.
But-
The specific date?
I mean, it just means that they're in touch with each other. It doesn't mean that they're dating.
Okay. And when were they?
It looks like Whitney is trying to get back together with him in
Objection,
May.
Your Honor. At this point, the witness is just testifying off the documents.
All right.
Which we've only seen for a few seconds.
I'm going to sustain that. Okay, I don't want you reading from the documents. What you need to do is take a look at them because it refreshes your recollection as to what the information that is being asked, and testify to that. If you're just having to read from that document and you don't recall independently, then your answer is that you don't recall. Okay?
Thank you. Yes, my answer is the same as it was. I said 2014, 2015, and it looks like there's conversation around that. And so, okay, it doesn't independently refresh.
Okay.
I 100% agree with this. Yep. I can't wait. Society page. I can't wait to see it. I'm so glad you're here too. We should watch him after this. I love the uncomfortable silence.
Yeah, she's like, wow.
All right.
Mhm.
So 2014, 2015 for both of those women.
Wait, both of those, it's the same woman, it's Whitney.
Oh, I was also asking about June.
Oh, I didn't see June in those text messages.
Okay, when was he dating June?
It's a guess, but I think it was around the same time, maybe 2015, 2016.
Okay, so is it your recollection that it went Magbanua, then Whitney, then June?
As far as people that I met.
Okay.
Just always throwing in those digs. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show you what I've marked as
Distancing.
states 36. You recognize state 36?
I think I've seen this picture before.
And do you recognize the people in the picture?
I do.
Can you compare an accurate photo of in the picture?
It looks like them back in the day. Yeah.
Okay, and you know who in the photo?
I don't.
Who's in the photo?
It's my brother and Katie.
Your brother Charlie?
My brother Charlie.
And Katie is women in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
This is such a good point. Luke brings out that she looks so uncomfortable, as we can see Georgia and
Mhm.
hear her steps. She's
Mhm.
she's definitely
It's like,
like
what is she
bracing
coming at with
herself.
me now?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's coming up next.
Ooh, have you ever seen Eyes Wide Shut? I don't
Mm-mm.
know. I don't think I've. If it's scary or murderous, I don't watch it. Believe it or not, I don't like violence.
But we do this, so it's all good.
I'm gonna do a video about why I do
I
this
know.
kind of stuff
You
one of
should.
these days. It's so interesting.
And is it fair to say this photo was taken during the time that they were dating?
It definitely looks like it.
And what was that time frame?
I don't know the time frame of when they were dating.
Okay, were they dating at the time of this murder?
Don't know the time frame.
I
That's
believe
That was
so.
that, okay. And is this how they appeared around that time? Is it accurate in their appearance?
It seems so. Nobody has any like, weird facial hair or doctor. I don't know. It looks like I imagine they looked at that time.
Okay, and you saw them at that time, around that time, because you went to the beach and
I
did.
did. Yeah. I mean, it's been 8 years, so they look different.
They look different now?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's how they look back then.
Probably, yes.
All right, so at this time I'd ask to move into evidence states 36.
Any objection?
One brief moment, Your Honor. To be a stickler judge, but improper authentication.
Overruled. It'll be admitted as states 36.
Who's wrong?
You may.
I disagree with that.
There they are.
So cute. Crazy.
She has the same neck as him.
They sure do.
They have the same neck. Smallish head or something. Not more.
Do you know of any specific gifts that your brother gave this defendant during their relationship?
I don't.
What about after their relationship?
This is interesting.
I'm not aware of any gifts between them.
Were you aware that she was on the payroll at the Adelson Institute?
I know
This
that
is
she
your
worked at my dad's office for a while, so it would make sense that she was on the payroll.
And what duties did she perform there?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I know what, so it makes
So
sense.
earlier she asked if she'd met Magbanua, and she said
Twice.
2 or 3 times, and then it was twice, multiple times. Now she's saying she worked for her dad on top of it.
But she'd never met her there.
Right. Charlie's head looks like way too small. I'd like to do an animation. Is Kappelman going to ignore Donna on the FBI wiretap with Charlie? Wendy was talking to judge that knows judge. Okay. I'm not sure. We'll find out. We're going to find out. Definitely. Definitely. I cannot wait. Who is excited about this trial starting? It's the 23rd of September, and it'll be starting the 23rd of October with
1
jury
month.
selection. Yes.
And when you say she worked there, did she physically went there?
I really don't know.
Oh.
And did you ever work at the Adelson Institute?
I did in
Okay.
between my master's and my law degree.
All
I
right.
did.
And did you see Katherine Magbanua there when you were working there?
No, that was 2003.
How do you know that Ms. Magbanua worked at the Adelson Institute?
That's a good question.
Right.
She's like, shoot, I just screwed up, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why didn't she
How
say
do I know? Now, we have not seen her
not that
head
far?
position like that. She is cranking,
Yeah, like, oh shit.
looking like, where's my answer? Where's my answer?
Yeah.
Do we practice this? Yep. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
How do I know? I'm trying to remember if I knew at the time or I found out later. Probably my brother would have told me that Katie was working, and that's how I would have known.
All right. And was that before this murder or since the murder?
I have no idea.
But why would she remember that? But she forgot so many other things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Remember.
Mm-hmm.
At the time frame she worked there?
I don't know the time frame she worked there, and I don't know why he would have told me. I didn't really.
She caught
get very
herself.
involved with
Okay.
day-to-day op-
She just caught herself because
Mhm.
she said, my brother would have told me, and she should not have said that.
No.
And she caught herself
She's
and
like,
said,
I don't know
oh, I don't
why.
know why he would have told me. She's like backtracking.
operations of
So she knows when she's made a mistake.
the office or what they did.
Do you know if your brother had any other ex-girlfriends on the payroll at the Adelson Institute?
I don't know.
Bam.
Don't know.
Well, wouldn't he have told you since he told
Right.
you about Magbanua and she
Right.
wasn't? Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can pull some Adelson Institute receipts.
All right, let's go to the day of Dan Markel's murder. What were you doing that day?
I was at home that morning. I was working on a couple of pieces of writing. I was waiting. I remember the Geek Squad was coming to fix my television.
So,
I think
Was
they
that
said
the same television that your brother had purchased for you as a divorce gift because it was cheaper than hiring a hitman?
it was the television that my brother had bought for me.
All right, and did your mother, Donna Adelson, arrange from Miami for the Geek Squad to come to your home that morning to fix
No,
the
I did.
TV? Would it refresh your recollection to review some text messages regarding that issue?
Hold on a second.
Objection, Your Honor, improper impeachment. The witness gave an answer.
Overruled.
She's like, save me.
Counsel? I take it.
oh, sorry. Mm-hmm. Tried. Improper impeachment? Like, if she answered incorrectly and you have receipts showing she answered incorrectly, like,
Yeah. I heard that. Did you guys hear that?
he just, like, there's a hot mic on the defense
There's a hot
attorney.
mic. He didn't turn his,
And he goes-
DeCoste didn't turn his mic off, and we heard him say, darn.
Darn.
That's the first time I heard that. That's funny. Yeah, they're trying to help her. They're working together.
Because if they can get Katie off, then the buck stops there. Like, if they can't get
Right.
Katie, they can't get Charlie, they can't get anybody
That's right.
else.
I mean, they could, but
I don't really
much harder.
understand. It's my best recollection that I set up the appointment for them to come.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes this happens now where there's a different number on the account, so they call the wrong account. So they could have called my mom and she would have said, no, call my daughter. They need to confirm with you.
Okay, but your mom
Oh,
does
nice.
indicate that she is sending the guy. to your
No,
house.
she indicates that she was called by Best Buy. So that means she was called by accident since they were coming to my house.
Okay,
Hmm,
and
interesting.
No, it doesn't mean that. That means we practiced and rehearsed how we were going to
How we're
answer
gonna fix this.
did you have an appointment scheduled in your
No.
calendar, fixed TV?
I did. I thought they were supposed to come sometime
Allegedly.
between 8 and noon. And then they came pretty early, I think, 9 or something like that.
All right, and did
Amazing
you
how much she
delete-
remembers all of a sudden.
Shown on the far
This is
right
before
column
she
there. Can you
remembers
refresh
me.
your recollection?
Yeah,
But
Danny
did you
died.
delete
Yeah.
that appointment to have the TV fixed?
I'm usually kind of OCD about this. So after I have a meeting, I'll delete it. If it's done, I use my calendar kind of like a to-do list. So I'll have the meeting and then I'll delete it.
Okay.
So I must have deleted it once they arrived.
Doesn't everybody use their calendar like a to-do list, pretty much?
Are you asking that seriously or sarcastically?
I mean, that's what it is, but who deletes it?
I've never deleted a
Who
single thing.
deletes it?
That's a true thing. Like you can go back in my calendar from 3 years ago and
Why
see
would
what I
you
was doing on
delete
that
it?
day.
Yes.
That's,
Yes. Yeah, the I don't know face. Oh, God. Yeah.
Or sometime later.
Okay. And right before the
For sometime later, she's like just looking so hard to get some engagement from Georgia there, and she's not getting it.
none.
That was very difficult. This is,
mess,
and Jeff Lacasse says that if they really grill her, she will fall apart. I am so here for it. So here for it.
message that indicates, that's from your mother that we just talked about, Best Buy called.
Okay.
Remembers TV.
There's a message that says,
Yeah.
"This is so
Oh.
sweet." Who is that
Objection, Your Honor.
message to?
Objection.
Hold on, what's the objection?
Hearsay, Your Honor. Item is in evidence.
That's sustained.
All right. Can you say who the message before the Best Buy message? Who did you send that message to?
It looks like I sent that message to my brother.
Your brother Charlie?
Yes.
All right. And that message was deleted as well?
I always delete my messages. But yes, it looks like I deleted it at some point.
All right. And that message, what were you referring to in that message, if you know?
I have no idea.
It was sweet, whatever it was.
I mean, 8 years ago, I have no idea what was sweet.
Pause.
Pause.
Who deletes their messages?
I know the same people who delete their to-do lists.
But she deleted the message that Charlie sent to her, but not what she sent back? How does that make sense? Charlie sent her a message. She replies with sweet. Sweet is still there, but the original message is deleted. I mean, I have my phone set up to delete messages that are like 30 days old to save storage space or whatever. But
Right.
like, what is this?
This seems
What are you
suspicious.
hiding, Wendy?
Right.
What are you hiding?
Right.
And just because you delete it, it's not deleted off of the phone company. Like, stop. How can you be that dumb?
Right. And remember, we're all potential jurors. The juror's sitting there going, I don't delete my
Yep.
calendar items. I don't delete all my messages.
No.
This is weird. So this is where she came off as not credible.
Very much so.
In many ways, I think. A great example. Yeah, Helen, we're together.
Hi, Helen.
Oh, how was the wedding? I hope you had a good time. Yep, we are in the same room. It's been a great day.
So did Best Buy show up and repair the TV that morning?
They showed up and they tried to repair the TV, but I needed to make a call of whether it was worth repairing or whether I should just get a new one because the repair costs I remember being expensive.
And how old was the TV at this point?
I don't know. I don't think it was very old, just a couple of years.
Well, it was given to you as a divorce present at the time of your divorce, right?
Yeah.
12?
Right. So it wasn't that the TV was old. I think one of the kids had thrown something at the screen, so it cracked it.
Okay, but the fix was done in 14, or the attempted fix.
The attempted fix was in
Okay.
14.
All right, so the repairman did show up that morning, correct?
Yes.
Weddings are great.
And you said you did not recall your mom making that appointment, but was it usual or typical for your mom to get involved in that type of minutia of your daily life?
No.
It would be unusual if she did that.
I mean, it would not be unusual for her to try to help me with various things. So it doesn't sound
so hard to be
out of the realm
cute.
of possibility, but I
So awful.
remember distinctly
It's so awful.
setting it up for that morning of sometime, like when you wait for a repairman to come, they come in a window, they say between 9 and 1.
Oh,
I
sure.
remember there being a window they had told
What is
me.
all those
Do you
windows?
remember the
Yeah.
specific window in this case?
There's a
I
lot.
was thinking it was 8 to 12, but
all about when the repairman was there.
The repairman,
Yeah.
the TV.
The alibi.
I don't know if that's correct.
Okay, and we're talking about 8 a.m., between 8 a.m. and noon. And you agree that your husband, ex-husband, sorry, I keep doing that, was murdered between 8 a.m. and noon.
I don't know the exact time of when it happened.
Are you kidding me? You drove by the
Between 8 a.m.
crime
and
scene, Wendy.
And how cold does that sound? I don't know the exact time it happened because
Yes, you
there are
do.
witnesses who have
Sorry.
attested to hearing the gunshot and coming over. They know exactly when he was shot.
God.
And then at this point, Luis told them
And why aren't you just?
he was in the car and he saw. Oh my
This
God.
was such an important time in your life, and you were so terrified, and
Oh yeah.
you couldn't eat, and you were throwing up in a restaurant, and blah 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 blah. But
Yeah.
all of a sudden, you don't remember the exact time.
Mm-hmm.
Like she. Ugh.
Annoying.
Again, if you and I are jury, that's something that we're both going to pick out right away.
Mhm.
Like,
Yep.
ick.
It's really does not look good on her.
Yes.
I mean, yes, but I thought it was closer to 10 or 11.
Okay.
So between the window frame of 8 and 12.
Right. But she can't just say yes because it's too difficult because she's guilty, possibly,
Allegedly.
theoretically.
8 a.m. and noon.
Yes, it was between 8 a.m. and noon.
Finally, yes, it was between 8 a.m. and noon.
And you
She
still
had
can't
to
just say yes.
tug it out, but that shows consciousness of guilt, in my opinion.
Yep. Allegedly. Sorry, opinion, allegedly.
Oh, this is so sad. His children.
What is, I'm sorry. I'll not be
That
shocked to learn.
they'll have been
Oh,
brainwashed.
you know they already have been.
Yeah.
And did you leave your residence at all that day after
Maybe.
the TV
Oh,
repairman man came?
After the TV repairman came, I did a little bit more work from home. I talked to a couple of friends,
Question is all the
and
details.
then I made plans to have lunch with two friends that I frequently saw on Fridays, and we made kind of a last-minute plan to have lunch.
So she pretty much frequently sees them on Fridays, but it was a last minute plan. So is it that you have a regular lunch date with these people, or
Right. That was weird.
again, that doesn't make sense.
Then I had a few errands to run before I met them.
Boy.
So I did that. I picked up gas. I picked up something I needed for a party that night, and then I went to meet my friends for lunch.
All right. And
Again, looks
Yep.
over
do
to
you
the
know what time you left the residence that day?
I don't. I guess it's somewhere around noon.
And then went and ran your errands? On the way to run your errands, did you go by the crime scene?
No.
On the way to run your errands, did you encounter a roadblock on Trescott?
I did.
All right, so you did turn off of Centerville onto Trescott.
I did.
All right, and when you encountered a roadblock, what did you assume the problem was there?
I figured it was just an electrical storm or something. There was some tape, and it looked like the road was blocked off.
So now we got
I
the
just
hands.
turned around and went back and went up Benton.
And had there been an electrical storm that morning?
I didn't remember an electrical storm, but in the summertime, there's always trees falling and rainstorms. So
I was gonna say, last time she
Yeah,
said
there's
it was
just
a
like
tree,
trees falling all over the place, like randomly.
but she doesn't remember a storm. And what the hell is an electrical storm?
I don't know. What is an electrical storm?
A thunderstorm?
Lightning? Maybe lightning.
Yeah, pick a side.
Bimbo or
Yes.
right.
Pick a side.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And she just does not do bimbo well. Because her bimbo is more like a 14-year-old bimbo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fake.
it's awful. It's really doesn't go at all very well. Oh my gosh. Oh, and hi, Go Georgia, by the way. Can we say hi, Go Georgia? Okay. I think the $1 million email bribe email was in last week's session, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So it was the 2022 trial, which it was in last week's of our episode, if you want
Yes.
to check that out.
Some
Sort of tree hating storm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Like
Okay.
I would have assumed it was a car accident or
Yeah, caution tape. Have you ever seen, I mean, you have a thunderstorm or a lightning storm, you don't
No, I
have
see it,
police tape
no, I see like those roadblock signs, like
or
those
the cones to dump.
Yeah. Not
Orange
police tape.
cones, not police tape.
She's so dumb.
Okay. Oh, what's
Right, and you weren't concerned based on that experience that there could be something going on at your, previously your marital home. Absolutely not.
Never.
There we go with the face.
The down.
Yeah. Oh, we're at our 2 minutes. So we're at our stopping point. Let's get to a natural pause here.
And your ex-husband, Dan Markel, had your children at that time, right?
No, he did not.
Okay, so you had your children at that time?
No, my children were at preschool at that time.
Right, but who took them to preschool that day?
Danny would have taken them to preschool.
So it was his day. He was killed on his parenting day.
It was the day he would have brought them to preschool and I would have picked them up.
Okay, interesting. So I'm noticing instead of saying, she's not saying Danny took them.
Danny did.
She's saying Danny would have. And she's done it twice now. So there again, it's all this distancing. Anything to distance herself. Yeah. It's quite telling.
Did they spend the night with him the night before?
They did.
And you hadn't
They
seen
would
your
have.
children yet
No.
that day when you encountered the road.
So when she's talking about the children, they did.
Yeah.
But when it's Danny, he would have. And it doesn't have to do with his death. Because she would have just said, yes, he did. He had. But not would have.
That's so weird.
It's really telling.
And were you on the phone when you encountered the roadblock? If you
I was.
remember? Do you remember who you were speaking to?
I do.
Who was that? You don't have to say the name, but just what type of person was that?
He was a friend. I hadn't caught up with him a long time. He had moved to England. So I was probably a little distracted talking and catching up with an old friend.
How does she remember that?
At the time you encountered the roadblock or shortly thereafter,
In the look, he was a friend. In the smile,
Yeah.
the one I was cheating on Jeff with.
Oh. Okay.
Would that be the one? Maybe, allegedly?
Alleged.
call the daycare? No. Did you call Dan Markel?
No.
Did you do anything to reach out to any of the players that we've talked about in this case?
No.
Did you communicate to anyone that there was a roadblock?
I didn't. I would have had no reason to do that.
She's thinking.
This tells me that there's possibly a text where she actually did that.
Yeah. There's something there. And she's like, what do they have? What did I do?
Well, not only that, but why would she ask that specific?
Yeah. Georgia knows.
Right. She knows what she has. She's not happy there.
Dan Markel scheduled to leave town the day after he was killed?
I believe so.
Where was he going?
He was going to New York.
And that's where he had a girlfriend?
That's where his girlfriend lived.
Do you know how the killers knew that Dan Markel was planning to leave town the next day?
I have no idea.
You didn't relay that information to anyone?
Absolutely not.
Did you have WhatsApp on your phone at the time?
I really don't know. I have it now. I don't know if I had it 8 years ago.
Did you communicate with anyone on WhatsApp or similar technology to relay any information about the murder of your husband?
Absolutely not.
Do you know if your brother Charlie had WhatsApp at the time?
I have no idea.
Did you communicate with him through WhatsApp?
If I had WhatsApp on my phone, then maybe I did. I know I had friends who lived around the world. At that time, WhatsApp was more of a technology used to talk to people internationally. So I know the friend I was talking to was in England. If I had WhatsApp, I would have used it to call him.
If I had, I would have.
Mhm.
Again.
Yeah, Georgia's setting her
She's
traps.
Yep, she's cornering
Big
her.
time.
She's cornered. Yeah, I love the crab traps.
Yeah, none of this was brought up in the last one, by the way.
And Helen's noting the blink, 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 blink. Oh my gosh, no kidding. She is really.
Mhm.
I cannot wait to get more into this evidence. Hopefully, coming up soon. Let's just finish where she's done before the defense cross-examines. Although I cannot wait to get to the defense. That is fun.
Ooh.
Did you know that WhatsApp, the communications are encrypted? They cannot be retrieved by law enforcement. Were you aware of that?
I think they can be retrieved by law enforcement, but it's one of the end-to-end encryption services.
All right.
Well,
and
since she knows that it
so you can't tell the jury whether you communicated through WhatsApp at all on the day of the murder?
I don't remember if I had it 8 years ago.
Oh,
I have
God.
it now, so we could look
Look at all those
and
blanks.
figure out if I had it then, but I don't know.
If I
Did you ever
had it.
communicate with-
I'm talking to somebody in England. They use WhatsApp in Europe.
So
But if I had it, it's like
I
you just
would
said
have.
you were.
And
Okay.
all of a sudden she knows what encryption is. Like, she doesn't remember anything, but puke.
Yes, we lost Judge Wheeler.
Yeah.
But we still have Georgia Kappelman and Sarah Dugan.
Perfect.
Yeah. Duggan. Is it Dugan or Duggan? Yeah, I just love this. Wendy is messing with the wrong person. Georgia is going to make a special sauce for Wendy and Donna. Oh, I sure hope we
Katherine
see
Magbanua at
Georgia.
any time through WhatsApp?
I never communicated with her at all.
Oh,
After
never.
the residence
At all.
encountered the roadblock, where were you headed?
When I left my residence, I was headed to ABC Liquor.
Who else's residence
Get-
did she leave that morning?
Yeah.
Ugh.
And now we're finally getting to the liquor store.
An item that was requested for a stop the bar party. I was supposed to go to that Friday night.
Well,
I
what
was
was
going
that item?
That Friday
Sorry? What was the item?
It was bourbon,
What type of bourbon?
bullet bourbon.
that type.
The
And did you-
invitation had asked specifically to bring a bottle of bullet.
Just can't.
She can't.
She got to keep going here.
Also,
That face.
This
Oh, it's so
isn't
cute.
this is a very different story from what she told in the first trial.
Correct.
Because in the first trial, she just said, I don't know, I'm supposed to have to bring in a high-end bourbon. Can you tell me what
And the-
I should get?
Yeah,
and
the
guy
clerk was
showed
supposed
her.
to help her
Yep.
pick it out.
Yeah,
Right.
but now she's saying it was very specific on the invitation what type they wanted.
Yeah, they told me to.
Which
buy
one
bullet.
is it, Wendy?
Right. And that's why I always said I hope they could find that clerk at that liquor store
Yeah.
if they ever make the named conspirator an actual indicted
Yeah.
conspirator.
That's a very loud
That
background.
was weird. Okay.
Bullet bourbon. So I went to the store and asked them where I could find that.
And the bottle of bullet bourbon was in your vehicle when law enforcement came to interview you about this case.
Right. When I told law enforcement they could search my vehicle and
Yeah,
find away all the
helpful.
rights. Yeah.
I told them they could
When
search my vehicle.
and I signed away all my rights. Yeah, that's when.
I'm so helpful.
I
So
know she's
cooperative.
just like, and why am I being treated this way? Why wasn't that enough? That's what she's saying.
Yes.
Another pause.
After
I
the
love this.
murder of Dan Markel, was it your practice to tell people, just acquaintances and peripheral people in your life, that he had been involved in an accident?
I don't believe so.
Do you know whether that was something that your brother told people?
I have no idea what my brother told people.
Did you ever hear your brother, Charle Adelson, tell someone Dan Markel was involved in an accident?
No, I've never heard that. I was
Yeah.
just thinking,
I never heard that. Now she's going to say, I was just thinking, look how completely asymmetric her face is. So different on the right side than it is on the left. Even the one, so it would be her right lip.
It just hangs lower.
No, her left does. her right lip goes higher, like
Oh.
way higher in the left.
It does.
It's
Yeah.
so different, and her nose is different. I mean,
She needs better plastic
no,
surgery.
no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not criticizing her for that. Isn't that a characteristic of certain personality disorders when the face is complete? I'm going to have to look that up if anyone knows. LOL, Dawn. I'm not sure what did I say now. Good. I'm glad you're laughing because it's tragic. And
See, law enforcement told me when they were interviewing me that I wasn't supposed to tell anyone what happened until it was released, but
And that was just the day of.
that was the day of.
Okay. Did you or your children benefit financially from your husband's death?
Absolutely not.
Did your husband have a life insurance policy?
He did have a life insurance policy.
And what was the value of that policy?
I don't know what the value of it was at the time. I do know that his sister's the custodian of that life insurance policy, and I pay taxes on that money every year, but we don't receive any of it.
What was the value of it at the time of your husband's death?
It was $1 million,
Not $2 million?
$1 million for each child.
$2 million. All right. And did you believe prior to your husband's murder that you were the custodian of that money for the benefit of the boys?
No, we were divorced, so I was the custodian while we were married. But once we were divorced, I was no longer the custodian.
So you were.
no, you weren't. That's going to be another thing that she actually inquired about with the insurance company. I believe there might be some information about that might come out if we were to see perhaps another trial in the future.
Were aware that he had designated someone else to do that job. You didn't inquire through your attorney about challenging the designation of the sister as the custodian of that money?
I wasn't trying to challenge the designation, no.
So what were you
Did you
doing?
have access personally to that money?
No.
All right. What about a 401k? Did your ex-husband have a 401k when he died?
I believe he did.
Right. And are you the custodian of that money for the benefit of the boys?
I am. That's how I pay the taxes.
So you're really not paying the taxes. It's coming out of Dan's 401k, right?
Flip look.
Look at that face. Oh my gosh.
All right. Did he?
Wasn't there like a Gumby doll? It was like a blue rubber thing.
Gumby. Yep.
Gumby. Wendy Gumby doll.
You have a pension,
I don't know.
Social Security benefits?
I don't know if he had Social Security benefits. As survivors, my children receive Social Security benefits.
Right.
$4,800 a month. Right?
That's right.
No more paying
Deferred
Divorce.
compensation fund,
custody.
I don't remember.
$217,000. Does that sound familiar?
I don't remember.
I do not know.
What about the IRA? Did you have an IRA?
Remember everything about whether I should pay 25 cents more to get a new TV or repair this one, but I don't remember anything.
And exactly who I was talking to as I walked up to the crime scene, but I don't remember numbers.
Mm-hmm. The many faces. The many faces of Eve. Wasn't that a thing? I don't know.
$100,000.
It's very possible.
What about a checking account?
I don't know if I assume he had a checking account.
There, right?
Wouldn't go to us, but sure, I imagine he had a checking account.
Sure.
Would go to you and the boys? Where did it go?
Funeral expenses?
So it went to you because you
All right,
paid
and
for funeral expenses. How convenient.
obviously you did not have to maintain your divorce lawyer for any purpose after the murder of Dan Markel.
I think at that point he was trying to provide counsel for something else, but no, I didn't. I had to maintain him for a little bit just to close out the case. He had some work to do to finalize things.
All right. And was your mom able to go back to work full time once you moved to South Florida, or did she remain in the status of sort of helping with the kids a lot and working part-time?
She helped with the kids a lot, especially while I tried to get back on my feet and find work.
All right.
Get back on my feet.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is interesting. I thought this was interesting, her choice of words about getting back on her feet. Don't you think? Because it wasn't like she was his wife. She was his ex-wife. She made that
Right,
very
so why
clear.
are we getting back on our feet?
Why
From
were
what?
your feet? Where were your feet?
True.
Right?
Because
Isn't
they've
that
been
weird?
divorced.
Yeah, Joanne. Oh yeah, Three Faces of Eve with Joe. Okay. La 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 la. I see a video in her future.
Have you ever returned to Tallahassee to live after, you said you left about 2 days after the death?
I've never come back to live. I came back to give a talk, I think twice. And then I came back for a friend's wedding. I came back for a friend's bar mitzvah. So probably came back 4 or 5 times.
Nobody's coming back.
Right, but the
But
question
not
is to reside.
I'm sorry, Ms. Kappelman. I haven't lived here.
Does-
Okay. You've lived steady in South Florida since that date.
I have lived in South Florida.
Okay, and who has full custody of your 2 boys?
Me.
Yeah.
And does your mom have any issues with having access to your boys, or does she have full access to your kids?
I mean, there's no issues with access. No.
How often would you say your mom sees the kids?
I think it depends on the week, but probably at least once or twice a week.
Should we go back to?
How old are your boys now?
That's what it is.
They're 11 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
How old were they when their dad was killed?
It was 10 days before my older son's birthday, so he was almost 5. And my younger son was 3 and a half.
Ooh, a Wendy talk. I came back to keep talk.
Did you change their legal names about?
It's important for her to say that because wasn't her gig canceled at one point? And she was really upset. She was supposed to be giving like a graduation speech or something
Gross.
that right after Dan's death, and they were like, and she was mad.
A month or
Something
so after
along
the
those
murder?
lines.
No, not a month or so after the murder, no.
When was it done? Even sooner than that?
No, absolutely not.
Good job, Georgia.
When I tried to put my children in school and their faces had been unblurred on CNN and all across social media,
I'm not,
I
sorry
thought
to
we were
interrupt
in-
you, but if you'll answer my question is, when were the boys' names changed?
the boys' names were changed after I wrote a letter to Danny's family explaining I
No.
was
Ma'am.
changing their names.
Damn.
When were their names
About a year
changed?
after.
Okay, and that was when they were legally changed, July 6, 2015?
I don't
Sound
remember
right?
the date, but if you have it, that sounds correct.
Okay, so
I don't remember the date, but if you have it, that sounds correct. That doesn't even make
It's the
sense.
same stuff
It's-
Alec
it's-
Murdoch was doing. It makes me crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
they were legally changed on that date, but just a month or so after the murder, when you were enrolling them in school, is when they effectively had their names changed.
That is not true.
Yes, it
When
is.
did you change their names from?
That's what we said last time, Wendy.
Okay. And Go Georgia is saying that one of the things that was revealed in the hearing this week, I think it was,
Yep.
Rashbaum has made an 18-page request. Whoops. That information, a lot of information to be excluded. I mean, he's just doing his job. It's not
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's going to get, I mean, information is stale. That's not much of an argument. Not much of an argument. Yeah, victim, always the victim.
From and to,
I changed their last name from their father's last name to mine.
from Markel to Adelson.
That is correct.
And did you also drop the middle name of one of your boys that was a tribute to his paternal side?
Well,
It was a tribute to both families.
Did you drop it?
I did. I lost an honor to both families that day.
then why'd you do it?
I lost an honor. No,
Yeah.
no, you gave up.
Yeah, and why?
You discarded an honor.
yeah,
it's not I lost
That
it.
was your
It-
choice.
Right. It's just.
Yep.
And she's angry about it.
Yep.
What are you angry at her about it for?
Because she's.
It's what you
Yep.
wanted. I
Yep.
mean, I'm just so mad. that you're making me tell the lies.
Do you want the culpable parties in this murder held accountable?
Absolutely.
And even if it involves your own family?
Absolutely.
Do you recall giving an interview with law enforcement on the day that your ex-husband was murdered?
I recall sitting with law enforcement for 6 hours. Yes, I recall.
And did you tell
Oh my
law enforcement something different in that
This part just makes me so sick.
Again, she could have left at any time, and she knows that. Like,
Yeah, in Georgia, did you drop it? Right.
yep.
She's
Good.
scary and creepy.
Yep.
Yep.
Always the victim.
But so, like, she's trying to attack Georgia now with, oh my God, daggers there. Ugh.
interview about the culpability of your family?
I'm sure while I sat for 6 hours completely traumatized that I said all kinds of things.
All right, and was one of the things you said while you sat for 6 hours completely traumatized that you wanted the culpable parties held accountable unless it was your family?
I don't believe I phrased it like that, and I think you're taking my words out of context, but sure.
But sure.
She's so mad right now, but sure.
I don't believe I said that. Well,
You
if
did.
it becomes her trial, we'll just pull up the recording.
Yeah, we
and
got
see
receipts,
who's
Wendy.
taking what's out of context.
Traumatized, huh?
Oh, Lord.
Is that why you look so terrible that day, Wendy?
For what?
No further questions.
All right, we're going to take our break now.
No.
And so it'll be about 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, and so this is when,
Yeah, 5 hours, not 6 hours.
yeah,
Stop
it's
it.
definitely 5 hours, not 6, and completely traumatized, and I gave away all my rights. No, but no, y'all, you made your choice.
She knew what she was doing. Sorry.
Okay, so yeah, and Wendy did refuse to talk to Isom anytime after that, as did her
Yeah.
family members.
Right.
So this is where we will pivot for our next episode next week to
Yeah.
the cross-examination, which is my favorite part of
I'm
this
really
entire
excited.
trial, where DeCoste
Okay.
questions, aka grills, Wendy. Did you see this before? You
No.
haven't seen it? Oh,
And
it's
I've never
so
seen it.
fun.
Wait, Katie has a different lawyer in this trial. She doesn't have the spicy Cuban lady?
She's there. They're both her attorneys.
Oh, I didn't know.
She had two attorneys.
I never saw the man in the last trial.
Oh, yeah, he was there.
I never heard about him.
Oh,
It
okay.
was only the
Spicy Cuban lady.
Yes, her. She was the only one that was asking all the questions.
Tara Kawas.
Yes, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The spicy Cuban lady. We love the spicy Cuban.
I don't know if that's what she is. So
I
I'm
don't
probably
know.
going to offend somebody. Sorry.
Yeah, her eyes just cussed at Georgia.
Oh, they
Boy, I mean, look at that face.
Yeah.
I like how Georgia just goes, but sure, and walks away.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
okay,
Georgia's like,
okay,
I'm
child.
Done. I'm done with you.
Yeah, okay, child.
Goodbye.
Oh, and with that screenshot, my gosh, we're going to call it a night.
Yes.
And I'm so glad you are all here. I am still going to be going on with Mentor Lawyer. I'm not even in the shot here. Sorry, you guys. I'm not even looking at where I am. I'm like, hello. I'll be going on with Mentor Lawyer when I get home soon-ish
Someday.
at some point. Yes. Oh, thank you for being here. And New York Patriot Lady, Georgia just checkmated Wendy.
She sure did. For
Yeah.
a number of reasons.
Oh, so many ways.
I think she got her scared on a few different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Very nervous.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Katie has more than two lawyers. Yes, she sure does. Must be expensive.
Who's paying for that?
I wonder.
How can somebody like Katie afford two
Mm-hmm.
good lawyers? Trump's lawyer.
Oh, that's Wendy's lawyer.
Oh, that's Wendy's. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But still,
Mm-hmm.
how can? It's interesting. Where's the money coming from, Katie?
I wonder if we'll find out next month.
Yeah.
That could be one thing we find out. Maybe.
Stapled money.
Oh, man. Or just,
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I know.
yeah.
It's the Adelson Institute.
That institute, that great institute, that higher institute of dentistry.
Gross.
And Helen asked, did Charlie have Katie as caddy in his phone?
I don't know.
I don't know. Thank you guys for being here. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
We're going to see you next week, probably Friday at our regular time. See you later. Thanks for joining us.